What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Chief Gishir podcast. Here we talk about people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, the one and only Austin Creed. My friends, last night, I've been doing a show 2 times a day recently. Last night was a little bit different. I was hanging out with my sister and spending some time with her because it's her birthday and all that. But, I had a really interesting thought. Like, you ever have these trains of thoughts that you just stick around in your head for like a day, sometimes longer? I've had the same train of thought for the last 16 hours. And I wanted to share with y'all today. I've noticed that the morning shows are usually more motivational, and I don't think that's on accident. I think that's on purpose, because I give myself motivation every morning when I reaffirm what my goals are, what I'm working towards, and what I know I'm going to do. And that's what I do every morning. For those of you who have read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about how you need to write down your goals. You need to write them down, and you need to read them off in the mornings and at night. I have my goals written down. I'm going to become the best personal development and self-improvement podcaster ever, and I'm going to be a best-selling author. Now, you are more than welcome to sniggle at that if that's what you want to. Yeah, the show isn't enormous right now, but it'll grow. I know it will. Why? Because all I'm missing is the cash juggernaut that fuels guys like Joe Rogan or like the Daily Wire and stuff like that. That's all I'm missing. And once I get that, it's a wrap for everybody. Now, I don't know what your goals are this morning. I don't know what you're working towards. It could be something very similar to me. But you know what? I thought I'd take a different approach this morning and explain something to y'all and do it a little bit in a reverse psychology way. And here's what I'm going to tell you. For those of you who have goals, whether it's you want to build a business, you want to make more money, you want to... whatever it is you want to do, I don't know what it is you want to do. But I'll tell you something right now. If you're sleeping in this morning and you didn't get up about 6 a.m., then I won. I need you to sleep in. I need you to get fat. I need you to do all these things. Why? It makes my job easier. I got less competition. Because if you think that life is not a competition, I don't know what world you think you're living in. Life is full of competition. And that's what natural selection is. Anybody read Darwin? Nobody? Nobody's read Darwin? It all goes back to this concept of you reap what you sow. Me? I'm sowing seeds of prosperity. I'm sowing seeds of just working hard. Wealth is in my future. Prosperity is in my future. Success is in my future. I'm sowing seeds of personal development and self-improvement every day. What are you doing? What's holding you back? What excuse do you have this morning for not doing something that maybe you should have done, or maybe you think you want to do, but then the wedge of discouragement gets between you and your goals? I need you to do that, because it helps me. It helps me propel myself forward, because I don't have to fight you. Now, make no mistake about it, I want you to keep working hard. But sometimes people need a kick in the pants to remind themselves that it's a very shark eat shark world out here. And while I firmly believe in finding allies and making every day your best day and finding people who are like-minded, there are a lot of competition out here. This is a very competitive business. And I don't hate people in this business, by the way. I don't hate them. Am I sometimes envious of the fact that they make a lot of money? Sure, occasionally. But that doesn't make them better than me. Just because they have a better audience doesn't make them better than me. That just means they have more exposure than me. You could apply that to really anything that you're thinking about this morning. What is it that you like to do? Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're a playwright. Maybe you're some kind of a designer. I don't know what you are. But if you think that the big names in the business are better than you, no, they're not. What makes them better than you? Well, the amount of money that they make because big money is being thrown at them? No. They just have a head start on you. And they've had their opportunities, they've been given opportunities that they've taken advantage of. That doesn't make them better than you. That just means that you have to make up for lost time. You have to put in extra work. If you're running a race, which is what life is, by the way, if you're running the race of life, and someone passes you and they're running really, really fast, are you going to just start walking slow and say, man, forget this race, I'm done? No. You got to learn, you got to strengthen your body and learn how to run faster. Make yourself more aerodynamic. Strengthen your legs. Make sure that you're hydrated. Sometimes you got to run in someone else's shadow so you're more streamlined. All of these strategies can be directly applied to your life. Because make no mistake about it, life is a competition. Now, that doesn't mean you need to hate everybody. That doesn't mean that you need to be jealous of everybody or fear everybody. No. It just means don't get discouraged. Don't let other people's success make you think you're failing. No. You should celebrate in other people's success. Why? Because it will motivate you to go farther. It will light a fire under your butt so that you run faster, so that you do more that day. One of my best friends, he writes books for a living. He's a very good author. And every time he tells me about how he's publishing another book, or how he's editing 2 books at one time, or how he's really putting in that extra work and going the extra mile, you know what I tell him? I say, I love hearing that. Why? Because now I gotta go 2 miles today. I don't have to, but I want to. It makes me want to go 2 miles because he went the extra mile. I don't hate the fact that he's winning. I love the fact that he's winning because then it makes me want to win even more. It shows me what winning is so that I can also strive for that. If you're surrounded by losers, you'll be a loser. But if you're surrounded by people who are winning, you're bound to win. Because people who are winners want to be around other winners. And if you aren't winning, they don't want to be around you. Because all you're going to do is drag them down. So my friends, it all goes back to the adage of you reap what you sow. Whether it's you're trying to sow seeds of great friendship, of prosperity, or maybe some of you today are spreading seeds of lack and limitation, ruining yourself and sabotaging your own progress. What do? Well, you gotta uproot those weeds and not let them steal your happiness or steal the opportunities that might present themselves in your life. Remember that you are in control of your life. And the more you blame other people, the more you don't take responsibility for your own life, the more you will feel like a victim and not a volunteer on your path to success. I hope, it is my fervent wish that every person listening to this show realizes that they can have all the money they want, but it's on them to get it. No one owes you anything. And if you're not willing to be your own best ally, instead of an incompetent ally or an enemy, then why should anybody else get on your program? Why should anyone else be there to help you out? It's no one else's job but your own. Now, is it nice when someone is there to help you out? Of course. But no one has to do those things. And once you realize that, it'll light that fire underneath you to achieve, to be better, to never settle for something you don't want. Because life is short. I don't care if you're 18 or 16 or 65. Life is short. And it's way too short to be lived doing something you despise, doing something that that's distasteful, or doing something that's mundane that you don't like. And you may be saying to me, Austin, I don't know, but it's so hard, and what do I do? That mindset is the first thing you have to change. If money is what's stopping you, That just means you're trying to reap the harvest when you haven't sown the seeds, and that is a sin. That is why I think it was Lord Bacon who said, it was either him or Bernard Shaw, who said that it is the duty of every person to be rich, and it is a sin to be poor. Now, for those of you who've heard that for the first time, you're probably thinking to yourself that that sounds preposterous, callous, maybe something that's downright diabolical and unacceptable. Well, let's dissect that a little bit, right? Let's dissect it. What is sin? Sin is transgression of the law. And if you're trying to harvest something that you have not sown, that goes against the law, because you'd be stealing it from someone else. Or you'd be trying to break the laws of nature, then that is a sin. You go backwards, not forwards. You have to sow before you harvest. That's why in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, which is one of my favorite books, and out of the 15 chapters he has in that book, not a single one is entitled, has the word money in it. You might be asking, how is it possible that a book like that so many people have said has helped them make millions of dollars, does not have the word money in it? Well, it's the same thing as as a farmer trying to tell his son how to bring in the harvest when he hasn't taught him how to sow the seeds. It makes no sense, which is exactly why you're living your life in reverse. You're doing things opposite of how you should, because that is how you've been taught. You've been taught that the best way to earn money is to trade time for money. That is false. You trade your time to plant the seeds, to invest, and then before you know it, your money will make you money. And that is how people who are rich become richer. And not doing that is how the people who are poor become poorer. Realizing the simple fact of life will elevate you from a normie to someone who is enlightened and someone who understands this very simple concept. But people don't realize how easy it is to conceptualize these things. It's a whole nother to actually live them out. But my friends, you need to understand that you can have all the money that you want, and it is no more difficult than learning how to drive a car. But you simply need to understand how it works first. My friends, I hope you learned a lot today, and I hope it benefited you. Please go out there and live it. Don't just sit by and waste your time and then sit on your hands. Make hay while the sun shines. And that hay might just give you the most illustrious bumper crop you could ever imagine that could change your life forever. My friends, God bless you. On this beautiful morning, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless America. Have a fantastic day. Peace.